Hi guys, ArchieLuxury. Go to f2bbs.com. www.f2bbs.com. The last bastion of free speech on the interweb. Hey guys, it's ArchieLuxury on the Paul Pluta channel. Today guys, I'm doing paid review 21QA45. Before we start this, for Thomas, let's do a quick wristwatch check. Rolex, a Rolex Submariner. This is the new 41mm. It is gorgeous. Absolutely love this watch. Here we go. Hi Arch, greetings. Watches 24 here. I hope you are well. Some background. I'm a 50-year-old public safety executive living in the States and have been collecting watches since my early 20s. Presently, I have 3 Rolex and some other brands as well as Atmos clocks. At present, I could use your sage advice on where to take the collection next. I'm thinking of expanding to 4 Rolex watches, but I'm open to suggestions. I think the natural choice would be to add a GMT, Daytona, or perhaps a Sky Dweller. A Patek is a long-term goal. The problem is, like most of us, I could easily source these Grail. The problem is, like most of us, I can't easily source these Grail watches at my AD. I'd like your advice on what you feel I should do. I'm reluctant to pay a premium, as I suspect I would have to lower my expectations and settle on a cheaper model such as an Explorer 2, which is also great, as you know firsthand. Alternatively, while I wait for a call from my AD that admittedly may never come, I debate whether to just fill some voids by adding a Tudor GMT or a Grand Seiko GMT or even a Speedy Moonwatch. Now to the state of the collection. Here we go. Number 1, we got a PAM 212 flyback 44mm. Oldest watch in the collection, bought new. Consider it one and done for this brand. Worth at least what I paid, if not more. Okay, he's probably never tried selling it. Believe you me, PAM! Everyone loses money on PAMs. I did. Number 2, Omega Aquaterra blue dial 41mm caliber 8900, bought new at an AD with discount. Great watch for the money. I suspect I would flip it if the AD called and offered me any of the above mentioned Rolex pieces, as I can't help feeling the Omega to own anyway is the Moonwatch. No! I quite like the Aquaterra. I love it. It's kind of like it's an Omega version of the Datejust. It's beautiful. No, don't sell that. Number 3, a Jaeger LeCoultre Reverso, large, small seconds, 2021 purchase, iconic, and another one and done, not including the Atmos clocks. That's the clocks that work on changes in the atmosphere, atmospheric clocks. I've owned a few too. Only one ever worked properly, but that's beside the point. Okie dokie. So here we go. Number 4, Grand Seiko SBGR 317 Black Auto. I bought this used in like new condition, perfect 40mm, very beautiful, and seems sort like Grand Seiko's version of the Datejust. Still, I would move this too for the right Rolly if given the opportunity. I gotta tell you, I love this Grand Seiko. It's quality. He would move it for a Rolly if the opportunity, if only because the Grand Seiko to own is probably one of the spring. No, forget that. Forget it. I love your Grand Seiko. It's a beautiful watch there. Number 5, Seiko Marine Master Limited Edition SLA 035. Bought new with a discount. Beautiful and incredibly legible saturation diver, and notably my most accurate watch. Powered by a Grand Seiko derived 8L35 movement. Looks like trading for more than I paid. Well, that's okay. Who cares? You're going to keep it. Number 6, Rolex Ceramic Maxi Sub. Date bought at AD. Check. Yes, sirree, you had some luck. I'm wearing my Rolex Submariner, the new 41. I love it, love it, love it, love it. Then we got a Rolex 41mm Datejust Wimbledon on an Oyster, bought at AD late 2020. So that's a good watch. You can't complain about that. Then he's got a Rolex 40mm Yachtmaster Blue, bought at AD in 2021. That's also a great watch. I love that the blue dial is the best in the Yachty. I like the Yachty 1 much better than the Yachty 2. It's like a glorified Submariner. Much beautiful, beautiful watch. Then we got a Hamilton Instamatic Panda. Garbage, 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 garbage. Grey market, serves as a COVID beater. Absolute garbage. Then we got a Seiko limited edition SPB 145 200 meter, marketed as 62 mass reimagined, trading at more than, you know what? That Seiko is pretty damn ugly. Well, it's not ugly, it's just plain Jane. Grand Seikos I like. Standard Seikos, man, who cares? And then you got two 560 Atmos clocks, one gold and one nickel. Luckily, both are very accurate, but do I need two when there are two more watches to buy? They do come me to look at. Best regards, Watches 24. So Watches 24, firstly, thank you so much for getting a paid review. Now, I got to be totally honest with you, okay? Please, the Atmos clocks, just keep them. You got two beautiful, I've had a few. I've only ever had one that worked properly. They're very delicate. You've got to make sure you don't take them. Atmospheric pressure mucks them up as well. So if they're running, just leave the bloody things alone. Don't touch them. Don't touch them. Okay, that's my advice. So yeah, they are. If they're working, they're actually beautiful. I would keep them. Don't sell them, because you're going to get penny. People, look, you want to buy them, they're expensive. You want to sell them, they're not. You know, they're just, it's a catch-22. So your Atmos clocks, I love them. Keep them, don't sell them. Let's go from backwards to the front. So don't sell those. Your Seiko limited edition, man, it's not even worth mentioning. It's low. It's not even worth mentioning, is it really, this Seiko? This, I mean, I don't know why you'd even mention. Is it worth mentioning? Let me have a look here. What is it? See, I don't understand why. It's an SPB 149149. What's it going for? What sort of watch is this here? It's $1,000 watch, big bloody deal. So what? $1,000 isn't worth getting super excited over, is it? I don't think so. I would just leave it, man. You got it? That's okay. It's a beater. It's a beta. Just leave the damn thing. Oh, actually, they go for it. Okay. They go for a bit more. Okay, but big deal. Big deal. Big deal. Okay? The Hamilton, that's garbage. I'm not even going to talk about the Hamilton. That's just garbage. Give that to the guy who comes and cleans your pool or one of your kids. The Yachtmaster Blue, that's absolutely beautiful. Keep that. That is not for sale. You love that. Then you got the Wimbledon dial Datejust, absolutely beautiful. Keep that. You got the sub 40mm, absolutely beautiful. You've got the Marine Master. I actually quite like that because it did use a kind of detuned Grand Seiko movement. Yes, cool. Then you got a Grand Seiko SBGI. Forget what's popular. You've got it. Just stay with it. You're not going to... I don't understand. You have to have the one. Just stay with what you got. That's a beautiful piece. The JLC. Absolutely love your JLC. That's a great piece. The Omega Aquaterra. I would keep that. That's a beautiful watch. What are you going to sell that for? You're going to get pennies in the dollar. It's a beautiful watch. And then finally the Pam. Also keep that. You're going to get pennies in the dollar. Now, let's have a talk here. The truth is, you got to pay the piper. The price of what Rolex watches. See, I love these Americans. You love capitalism. Sometimes things go above retail. Supply and demand, it's economics. The retail price of stuff is irrelevant. The secondary, it's irrelevant if you can't get it, okay? So, I got to be totally honest with you. You got a nice collection. You don't need to buy anything. You got more than enough. Okay, you really do have more than enough. You've got some beautiful pieces. What the hell do you really need? Not much really. You got some Rolex, you got some quality, beautiful pieces. So my advice to you is, what would I add there? You've got some I agree. What is wrong with the Explorer 2? Why do you bag it? Why do you bag this out? I don't understand why you bag the Explorer 2. I love my Explorer 2. Would I prefer a Pepsi? Of course I would. I'm waiting for a Pepsi. MJT, I want my Pepsi. I want a Pepsi. But the Explorer 2 isn't dog food. It's a great watch still. So I got to be totally honest with you. Retail price, ADs aren't your friends. They're not your friends. Now let's talk about what you should do. Hi guys, ArchieLuxury, and who do I recommend in America? In America, who do I recommend for quality pre-owned wristwatches? David SW, David SW, David SW. Go to davidsw.com. He is the best, the greatest pre-owned dealer in all of the United States of America. David SW, David SW, David SW. So what do I think there? I gotta tell you, man, let me tell you the truth there. You gotta grow up. Grow up! Grow up, okay? The Rolex market, if you think you're gonna walk into an AD and they owe you a Pepsi or a Batgirl, man, just gotta wake up. Grow up, man. We live in America. You've done fairly well. Look at this. You've got such beautiful watches, man. If you've got to pay the piper, my advice to you would be to go to David SW. Pay a premium and don't waste your time with the AD. Okay, that's my honest advice. What would I get there? Look, you got a really beautiful collection. And I don't like people who whiny. I want to get this from the AD like it's some goddamn right. The retail price is irrelevant. It's the secondary market that sets the tone for Rolex. You've got 3 beautiful Rolexes. You've got a 40mm date. Well, that's beautiful. Ceramic sub. You've got a 41 Wimbledon date just, and you've got a yacht. Man, what are you whinging about? You got some beautiful pieces. What would I add there? I got to tell you, man, stick to Rolex. Add Rolex. There's nothing I would sell. With your collection there, don't sell anything. What are you going to sell? You're going to sell the Pam. Pam, I would keep the Pam. It's a nice piece to have. Don't buy any more, but keep it. The Omega, you're starting to shoot yourself in the foot. Oh, but the one to own is the Moon watch. So what? Your Aquaterra is a beautiful watch. Keep it. Enjoy it. So you're just getting very negative. Then you start saying the Grand Seiko, but the one to have is the... Stop this negativity, man. Be positive. So my advice to you, what would I get? Well, I reckon I would just pay the piper. I'd go to David SW, or fine, if you don't want to use David SW, use another dealer and just pay the premium and be done. Otherwise, you're just wasting time. I personally would say, what's wrong with the Explorer 2? I like the way you start dishing the Explorer 2. I used to think years ago when they were the same price, I thought the Explorer 2 was better than the GMT. So I don't understand this. You always, you got an excuse for everything. Stop being such a baby. You got a great collection. Pay the piper. Pay the piper. So what would I add then? I'd add a GMT. Yep. I'd add a modern, a Pepsi or a Batgirl or a Batman. Yes, yes, yes. Or an Explorer 2. I would, if you want a nice chronograph, as you said there, you've already got a chronograph in your Pam, but I'd add a Speedy. Add a Speedy, sure, why not? Those are no longer cheaper. Now you're going to bitch to me because you can't get them at big discount, and you got to pay retail, and you got to, well, that's just how life is. This is free enterprise. You Americans invented the free enterprise system. Some you win, some you lose. That's life. You don't keep bitching about it. You've got to grow up. There's no point whinging and whining and moaning. The Pateks, I tell you, the Pateks, to be honest with you, the Patek isn't going to be much cheaper. The Patek is going to be similar to a Batman. That's a good thing. Pateks, a dress Calatrava, maybe that's the one to get. I'd get a 5196 or a 5127 or 5296. Get a Patek dress watch. They're very good value. Sometimes in life you got to think outside the square. I think you're a bit whiny. You know, you've had some good luck. You've got a beautiful collection. Be grateful for what you got. And if you've got to pay above retail, that's the new market. Okay, that's just how it is. It's very whiny. Oh, I don't want to pay over retail. Well, I don't. That's just how life is. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. You're not flipping or trading. You're keeping your watches. Just enjoy them. Pay the money and enjoy them. So that's my advice to you. Get it from a grey market. Go to David SW. He's a great dealer. And pay the piper. Okay, guys, that's my review there. Great collection. A little bit whiny. You Americans, it doesn't always go your way. This is how free enterprise works. Guys, like, subscribe, and tell your friends. And remember, I can't survive on Google Ads alone. I need paid reviews. Paid reviews is how I survive. Please get a paid review done now. I'm ArchieLuxury. I will see you in the next one. Hey guys, ArchieLuxury. Who do I recommend for watches in Brisbane and Sydney? Vintage Watch Co. That's correct. Vintage Watch Co. in Brisbane Arcade in Brisbane and the Strand Arcade in Sydney. Vintage Watch Co. Brisbane and Sydney. Ronnie, I've known him since the late 90s. Ronnie is a top bloke. Luke is a great guy. Vintage Watch Co. That is who I recommend in Australia. Check out Vintage Watch Co. and the guys' amazing range of watches. They also do service and repairs. Vintage Watch Co. That is where the pontiff goes. You know, some of my Pateks came from Vintage Watch Co. That's right, guys. Vintage Watch Co.